Good evening, ladies and gentlemen, and welcome to yet another great episode of Bahrain Now, your source of local initiatives, happenings, talents, and trends. I'm your host, Iman, here to walk you through our exciting lineup of segments and personalities from around Bahrain. So don't go away, we'll be right back. Reach Behavior and Development Center is the first center in Bahrain to become a behavioral health center of excellence, which specializes in partnering with families to develop the skills and strategies that enable their children to be happy and independent. To speak more about the center and its contribution to the community, we are joined here by Reach Behavior and Development Center Executive Director Mona Tadayan. Hello Mona, and welcome to our studio today.
Hi Laura, thanks for having me.
So tell us about yourself.
Okay, so my name is Mona Tadayan. I'm the founder of Reach Behavior and Development Center. I started my career in business. I got an MBA, and then once I had kids, I decided that the corporate world just wasn't fulfilling for me, and I decided that I didn't find a sense of purpose from the corporate world. So I decided to pursue a master's in applied behavior analysis, which wasn't easy with 4 kids.
Of course, it must be really hard.
Yeah. And then I became a board certified behavior analyst. So basically kept my head down, studied, tried to make up for all the lost time that I spent in the corporate world. So read, researched, spoke to experts in the field, really tried to get into it as much as possible. And then once I was ready to be with the kids, that's really where I found my purpose.
And then you just loved it.
I loved it.
Yeah, and then you loved it. Can you tell us what's the story behind the establishment?
Yeah, sure. So next week is actually our 1-year anniversary.
Okay, amazing.
Yeah, so we've been open for a year, which is great. So like you mentioned, we are a behavior health center of excellence. What that means is we've met an assortment of clinical and administrative standards, and really, which is fantastic. And when I started this a year ago, I really just had the families in mind, kids in mind, the mothers in mind. I wanted to make sure that there was never a moment where a mother got a diagnosis of her child and just didn't know where to go, what to do.
Yeah, they're all confused. They don't know what to do.
That's exactly it.
They're all confused.
That's exactly it. And
yeah.
actually, I sat in our meeting room many times with mothers who got a diagnosis, and they were very confused and very lost, and there would be a lot of sad tears.
Yeah, and they don't know. They think, okay, do I go? What do I do now?
Yeah.
Nobody knows what to do. What's
Absolutely.
next? Exactly.
I had a plan for my life, and now I don't know what to do. But those same mothers, I would sit with them in that same meeting room, months, maybe even weeks later, and they would be happy tears. So that hope that we give to parents is a responsibility that I don't take lightly.
Yeah, of course. Can you elaborate on the strategies you guys use to make the children happy and independent?
Yeah, sure. So what we do is, ABA in general is one-to-one intensive therapy, and all our programs are supervised by board certified behavior analysts. We use standardized assessments to assess the children, and we take into account parents' goals. There's constant communication between the clinic or the center and the parents, so we send daily communication logs, we do daily data sheets.
You make sure that the parents know what's happening.
Absolutely.
Every single day, almost all the time.
Yeah. Absolutely, because they need to know what we're working on so that they can generalize those skills to the home and to their everyday life. We do frequent parent trainings, progress report meetings, so the parents are very much involved in what we're doing at the center. And then some of the strategies you were asking me that we used in ABA. There are multiple strategies that you could use in ABA, but to touch on a few, We look at functions of behavior. What that means is why behaviors are occurring.
Yeah.
So a lot of parents say, this is happening with my child. What do I do? So we need to look at why. Why are these behaviors occurring?
Yeah. What's triggering these behaviors as well? Yeah.
Absolutely. What comes before? What are exactly what you said? What's happening before these behaviors? What do these behaviors look like? What's happening after the behaviors? What are the consequences of that? So we're looking at that, and then based on that, we create individualized behavior plans.
Okay.
We also look at larger, more complex tasks and break them down into smaller, teachable tasks. We also look at creating motivation in the environment. So for children to communicate, we look at different things like maybe different opportunities in the environment to teach children, and really maximizing and capitalizing on different learning opportunities in the environment. We also look at repeating just that consistency, and the repetition is really important for the children that we see as well. So really there's lots and lots of strategies.
Of course, there's so many strategies and so many kinds of strategies that you could go through, and that will, let's say, strategies that the parents will accept as well, because I'm sure there are some parents that might think, oh no, this might not be a good idea, but for you guys are specialized in this, so you think, yes, this is good for you. You should do this for your child, but I'm sure all the parents have different thoughts to it.
Yeah, and some children respond differently.
Of course, to different types of strategies as well. What are your services for children with developmental delays and their families?
Right, okay, so ABA, or Applied Behavior Analysis, and you might ask me, okay, great, so what is ABA?
Yeah, what is ABA?
Yeah, what is ABA? So in a nutshell, ABA is a science that helps to teach individuals skills to lead an independent life. That's what ABA is, okay? So how do you do that, right? How do you teach skills? What kind of skills are you teaching to help individuals live an independent life? You can teach communication, so ABA can teach communication. Everything's behavior, so we can teach daily living skills. So what that looks like is toileting, eating, feeding, anything really, toothbrushing. We teach communication, we teach emotional regulation, so if somebody can't regulate their emotions.
Yeah, they can't control their anger and their happiness, their sadness. So you guys help them learn that as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So all behavior can be targeted with ABA. So play skills, leisure skills, anything really, ABA can target. So we're looking at skill deficits, what are the skill deficits and how we can help. Okay. We also do speech therapy, we do occupational therapy, we do school consulting, we provide shadows for schools.
Okay, amazing. Yeah, so it's all different fields that I didn't realize is everyday behavior.
Yeah.
Like I never thought of this as everyday behavior.
Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah.
We also do teletherapy, which was a big thing during COVID.
Of course, of course.
We also do a lot of parent training, which we talked about as well. So, yeah, a lot of different
sectors, I would say. Like there's from all different sides of how we live our daily life.
Yeah, absolutely. Fine motor skills, gross motor skills, handwriting, right? A lot of kids struggle with...
a lot of kids. I would say I struggle with handwriting. Right. Till today, I struggle with my handwriting.
You can come on over, Laura.
I wanted to ask you, who's eligible to join and how can they contact you?
Okay, sure. So we see kids from 2 years old and upwards. The kids that we see, some of them are on the spectrum, so they have autism. We see kids with ADHD, we see kids with Down syndrome, and kids with just language delays, behavioral challenges just generally. Like I said, problems with fine motor skills or gross motor skills. So really just a wide range of communication delays or behavioral challenges we can help with. And how can you contact us? You can call us, so 39006065, or you can go onto our website, which is www.reachabatherapy.com.
Okay, amazing. And what would you say would be your advice for parents and children with specific learning needs? What would you like to tell them?
Yeah. My biggest advice would be to, if you think your child needs support, then don't wait. Don't say, okay, I'm just going to see what happens, or let me see if they grow out of it.
I'm going to see if it takes a few years and they're going to get better.
Yeah. I would say look for services as soon as possible. Early intervention is key.
Okay, amazing. Hopefully soon I'll be coming to you to practice my handwriting.
Yeah.
I need it to get a bit better. Thank you, Mana, for being with us in the studio today.
Thanks for having me.
Viewers, don't go away. We'll be right back. The essence of interior design will always be about people and how they live. The details are not just details, they make the design. Today with us in the studio, a young Bahraini designer, Iman Jawad, founder of Design by Iman. Hi Iman, and welcome to our studio.
Hello, thank you.
Okay, so tell us, Iman, how did you become inspired to create Design by Iman?
I always believed that a nice environment can change your life, and I started Design by Iman as a freelance business. First of all, my main goal was to understand my clients and to simplify the design process that can be very intimidating. So I wanted my clients to know me in a personal level and as well as a professional level too.
Yeah, of course, so you can get actually how they feel and what they want to design, because you're becoming friends with them, you're understanding how they want to design something. Like you said, become very intimidating sometimes and makes you get confused, like, should I put this, should I put this? Everybody doesn't know how to actually design something themselves.
Yes, exactly. Many clients, they come thinking that if I saw a picture online, then I can probably...
That's it, yeah. I can probably just do exactly the same.
Yeah, I can copy paste it in my environment. Well, it's different because the site conditions are different, the
sizing plays in, everything is something different. There has to be specific things as well.
Yes, exactly.
So share with us your journey. How long have you been doing this for?
There's something that drew me to interior design ever since I was a kid. Like when I used to come home from school, and I'm fascinated by my mom's ability to rearrange the whole house in such a small time.
Yeah.
Or my dad's skills in making furniture all around the house. Like he would enjoy doing it, and we would just sit and watch him.
Yeah. So it inspired you even more by watching all of this growing up.
Yes, exactly. And then I studied interior design. Eventually, I graduated, and after that, would you say, did you start straight away after you finished university? Actually, I took some internships, and then it was a very humble start 3 years ago. I freelanced. I did some projects for the family, and then some projects for friends of the family, where I did some projects for exposure and a bit of experience. And until today, I'm doing projects that are big. Now I'm doing projects that are considered big comparing to the projects I used to do. And the nice part about it is that every project is different. There's no identical projects in sense of the challenges, whether it's the site condition or the budget or the scope of work or even the clients themselves.
Of course, everybody has different ideas, everybody has different budgets, different ideas of how they want to design something. So you have to as well cater and think of different ways to make each client happy.
Yes, and you have to understand their way of living. You have to understand their background and where they came from, so you can design something that will suit them and make them feel happy in their space.
How would you say, how do you do your designs? Is there anything that you like, is there any special criteria in your interior designing?
I'll share with you the process of my design actually. The process starts with a cup of coffee and a friendly chat with the client, just to understand them in a better way. And then we would create mood boards and share some inspirational images of what we can do to get them a closer idea of what we're gonna work with. And at that point, I usually try to avoid having the client to do something that is considered, that is considered the expected design. Like,
yeah.
there are certain designs that are copied and pasted everywhere around
the world, in Bahrain, everywhere.
Yes,
everywhere.
exactly.
Yeah.
So I try to encourage my clients to do something that represents them and makes them feel happier where they are.
Yeah. And what would you say? What are projects you worked on, or what is a favorite project you worked on?
I was blessed to work on different, on variety of projects. I worked on residential and commercial projects, also hotels. But the most thing I enjoyed was the restaurants and cafes. They were the most challenging because there are lots of regulations to ensure the safety and health of the customers.
Yeah.
But it's where you can get crazy and creative at the same time.
Yeah, of course. And I was going to mention myself, of course, as you being the designer, you have to follow so many different rules. If somebody wants to open a cafe, a restaurant, a beauty salon, whatever it is, there's rules you have to follow to make sure that you design correctly for your clients as well.
It's not only about the design and how it looks, it's about there's also rules and regulations, and there are safety codes that you have to follow in every project or in every type of a project, that you cannot follow the same rules for a house as a
restaurant. Yes, of course, it's completely different. Your house is your house. A restaurant, there's people coming, there's food being made, there's so many different things that you have to focus on yourself. What would you say would be quick tips in interior design?
This is something I always tell my customers and my clients, is it's nice to have a space that your visitors will enjoy, and it's nice to have a space that is appealing to your visitors, but it has to be appealing to you and functional to you as well. It should, your comfort and your safety, both mentally and physically, in that space is more important than anything else. So if you don't need that majlis, you don't have to have it.
You don't have to have it. Yeah. Don't use the space just because you have the space.
Yes, exactly. And if you have a hobby, then nothing should stop you from using that room for that hobby.
Yeah,
or that corner, actually.
Yeah, exactly. And people don't think of that. They think, again, like you said, you have a majlis. You don't have to use it as a majlis, but of course, people always want to do that.
Yeah.
What would you say is your future plans for Design by Iman?
My future plans would be, first of all, to expand the team, of course, to have bigger projects and a lifestyle brand, and to have furniture pieces and accessories that will make people stop and stare for a while and actually start conversations. I want Design by Iman to be a one-stop shop from planning to accessories that will be associated in the future to creating a fulfilling environment.
And then in Design by Iman can have accessories that then later on, even if you don't design, people can come and purchase from you and add their own touch to their houses.
Yes, exactly.
That's amazing. Thank you, Iman. I'm
Thank you.
very excited to see some of the projects you're working on. Hopefully your name will become everywhere.
Thank you.
Guys, we hope you enjoyed this segment. Stay tuned. We'll be right back. Art is a way of sharing a perspective through a visual medium, one that can last forever. Great artists created great works of art that have shaped culture and the human experience for centuries. Today with us, a young Turkish girl, Çağla, to share with us her art journey. Hello and welcome to our studio today.
Thank you so much. Hello.
So, first of all, tell us how you got inspired to become an artist.
Well, actually, I can start with my art journey. And when I was 2 years old,
okay, amazing.
My mom saw me like I was painting all around the house with crayons, and she didn't want to interrupt me. She thought like she might become an artist, which it happened. And then, like, since my childhood, actually, when I was in high school, I was in theater club, I was singing, I was playing guitar, I was going jazz dance, ballet, like alongside painting and drawing. So like I grew up with always like in art scene, and
Yeah,
I
it's
got
always
my
around you.
inspiration. Yeah, exactly. And then I found like it's always with me, and I decided to like carry on more, and I study art in college.
Okay.
And then after I graduated, I realized that like what mostly inspired me for creating my artworks, like daily life actually. I like to question, I'd like to, you know, I'm so curious about psychology, human being. I like to always observe things around me. And also it brought me like, I'd like to communicate and tell a story with me.
Yeah.
So this
Paintings
is how
tell a
I get,
story.
yeah,
Yeah.
this is how I get my inspiration.
Amazing, amazing. So Chala, tell us, where do you work in Bahrain?
Well, I'm a freelance artist and art instructor, so I'm not directly working under anyone or any company, but I am collaborating with a couple of art studios here, which I called my family here.
Yeah, of course.
So like they are my second home. And other than that, I'm a muralist. I do wall paintings and I decorate places here.
Okay.
And I do online teaching, and I do a lot of commission works related with art and design.
I love that you're an instructor as well. So if somebody wants to learn art, you are there to teach them.
They just can follow me on Instagram and they can reach me out. I teach any age group.
Okay, that's amazing. That's actually something very interesting. I'm thinking for my nephews. That's a nice idea
Here
to
I am.
add them. How do you see art in Bahrain? What do you see in Bahrain that's art to you?
Well, Bahrain is a very small country and everyone is very integrated together. So I can definitely say from my own experience, and I think I'm lucky, art scene in Bahrain is very friendly.
Yeah.
Anyone that I came across from the art market, like they were so supportive, so helpful, and they are so curious, they're asking, they're sharing. And also I got an offer to join an art community here, which
Okay, amazing.
I've been a part of it for a year now.
Okay.
And it's called Art Attack Crew. And we are more than 30 international artists, and everyone in the art community is so creative, talented, and we always helping each other. And I got my inspiration from my friends also in the art group. So basically everything is so friendly and everything happened like a magic in Bahrain when it comes to art.
Yeah, which is amazing. I never knew that we had art communities like this in Bahrain.
Yes,
Yeah,
yes.
so I feel like you guys, everybody in that community gives, takes. You all have different ideas, different ways of painting.
Yes, yes,
Yeah.
and even now we're gonna do an art event, which is at the end of this September, and we dedicate this art event for animals.
Okay.
And we are collaborating with Bahrain Animal Rescue Center, so our shell will be donated for the animal in the shelter.
Okay, that's amazing.
Yeah.
Amazing. It's a very nice idea to inspire people with their art in different ways as well. That helps
Exactly.
charities as well. What would you say is your favorite art piece that
Art
you've
piece?
done? Yeah.
Yeah, actually I brought my art piece, my favorite art
Favorite
piece.
one?
Yes, it's over here. It's a portrait of my grandmother.
Okay.
And I did this painting last year, and I lost my grandparent last year also.
I'm so sorry for that.
And she was like my biggest supporter. And if you notice my other artworks here, I am very impatient artist. Like when I'm creating my work, I want to see the result because I'd like to express myself, and I am just working very spontaneously and very quickly. And that's why I'm not going into too much details when I'm creating my own work. If it's not a commission work. So I think because of the pandemic, I couldn't travel to my country to say goodbye to my grandmother. The desire inside of me to see her lastly, maybe the portrait that I did for my grandmother
Is your favorite one?
is also very the realistic one among them. So
Yeah.
I think it will be stay like my favorite.
And I love the story behind it. What I love about the paintings in general, there's always a story behind
Yeah.
each painting. Can you tell us more about the other paintings that you brought with you today?
Of course, of course. And I'd like to actually start with this biggest painting over here. I think like I can say it has a story, and I can say that in a scientific base, like we all came from dark matter.
Yeah.
In a sense, like the main particle of the life is atoms, and everything around us comes from that. So basically we are all the same, but our representations are
It's
different. So like I think there are some people, they can be so shallow. When they look through you, they cannot actually see what's inside you.
Correct.
So that's why I just want to use a metaphorical symbol here. Like inside, you cannot see her,
Yeah.
but the dark matter actually universe. It has the everything, every color inside. So the right eyes, when they look at it, they can see the colors inside of you.
Okay.
So that's why the eyes are different here, the colors. I want to just represent the differences between to look and to see. Yeah, so like again in this work also, and I'd like to add that this is my first trial for Arabic calligraphy here.
It's amazing.
Thank
It's
you.
amazing for your
Thank
first
you so
trial.
much.
Honestly speaking, trust me, if you see my handwriting, this is more amazing than my handwriting.
Oh my God, thank you so much. Really, it was really challenging for me.
No, it looks beautiful.
And
it doesn't.
Really, thank you. Really, I found Arabic calligraphy very aesthetic. So since I'm in Bahrain, I got really inspired for the language itself.
Yeah.
And I said, I want to edit on it. And it says all mask will fall.
Yeah.
So instead of using a metaphor like I did my painting here, the colors you can see here. So when people show their true self, you can read their colors.
Yeah, you can see
And
the true
yeah,
colors inside them.
exactly. So, and that's why again the colors of the eyes are different. Again,
Yeah.
I'm focusing on the differences between to see and to look.
Yeah, I love the idea behind it, especially with that painting, how you can't see the inside to it. This is the darkness in it that no one actually sees, because people, like you said,
Yeah.
they look at you, they're not actually seeing what's inside of you.
Yes.
Yeah, it's a beautiful story
Thank
behind
you.
the paintings. Who would you say, because you love to paint and you've been in painting for so long, is your favorite artist?
I have a lot of them. It's really hard question, I think, but I can definitely say Spanish illustrator Luis Coles. He is like for a long time my biggest inspiration. The reason for that, he is not afraid of showing the gender inequalities, political issues.
He
like
shows everything through his art.
Everything through his art, and even censorship sometimes cannot stop him. I find him like a warrior, and
Yeah.
his gun is an art.
Yeah, I like that. And now that you said that, I love that he shows everything through his art piece.
Yeah.
And each art piece says something different.
Yeah.
What would you say, Chala, is your future plans? What are you planning on doing in the future?
Yeah. Well, I believe in raising a good generation is very important. And if we raise a really good generation, we can solve so many problems related with anything. And that's why I want to become an academician. I want to do my master in future to raise awareness of the issues that we have on the world.
Yeah, and that's something very, people don't look at that in the future.
Yeah.
People are not seeing that, but of course with everything that's been happening, we all look at different things right now.
And art is a great bridge to bring people together,
Yes,
to
it is.
discuss, to see, and to feel.
And to feel, exactly. Is there anything you'd like to add or tell your viewers about something to do with art before we end the segment?
Well, actually, I have a message for, especially for young people and women. Please never give up who you are, and always chase your dreams, and never underestimate your potential.
Yeah.
And if there's someone like not trying to understand you, always choose the people who let you bloom like a flower. And for my message for everyone, please support locals and artists. This is what we need the most.
That's what I mean the most. Thank you, Chala.
Thank
and
you
thank
too.
you for the beautiful stories behind the painting.
Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. Viewers, don't go away. We'll be right back. Well, ladies and gentlemen, we've made it to the finish line. A huge thank you to all of our guests for joining us tonight, and another huge thank you to all of you watching us at home. As always, be sure to reach out to us on our social media accounts shown below. We love hearing from you. This was Lara Sam'an. Until next time, good night and God bless.